Hey, my name's Jack Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to give you an update on the stamp duty controversy with Angela Rayner. You see, she has underpaid stamp duty by a huge amount and now she's come out and admitted it. I want to talk about the impact that this could have on her. Is she going to lose her job? But also, let's relate this to our property journeys. What would happen to us if we didn't pay stamp duty? Well, I've done some investigation and I found out that it's actually quite a bad thing that you get if you fraudulently declare the wrong amount of stamp duty, and the consequences can be quite serious. So we're going to talk about that in this video as well. Now, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do make sure you subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We're on the way to 50,000 subscribers. And by subscribing, you'll get all the latest house price news, interest rate news, property investing news, and much, much more. Let's get some views on this video. How do we do that? Simple. Your part is really easy. All you need to do is smash like, tick or like, do something to that like button. That helps with the YouTube algorithm, and that really does help the channel grow. So thanks to everyone that does that. So, it's frustrating, isn't it, when there's one rule for people in the government and one rule for everybody else. Now, you would expect someone so high up, in fact, the Deputy Prime Minister, someone that makes the rules, someone that figures out what the new laws are going to be, seems to not really understand how stamp duty works. Now, Angela Rayner right now is blaming her advisors. But I'm not sure I really caught that. I don't believe that she didn't understand exactly how this works. I think she's just got caught and now has got to deal with it. Now, the consequences are that Keir Starmer's doing a probe into this, and I think that this should be enough to get her fired. I don't think that she should stick around after making such a big mistake here that, if any of us did, would cost us considerably. So what's happened? Well, Angela Rayner has bought a property in Hove, and that's a property for £800,000. Now, that's fine. She can do that. It's quite an expensive property, but she has the right to do that, which she has done. Now, she also had a property in Manchester, and that's where she's an MP. And so she has that property in Manchester, and that was down as her primary residence until a little short while ago. She took that property and she sold her part of the property into her son's trust, saying it was now not her primary residence anymore. So at that point, she's saying, I don't have a primary residence, so I'm going to buy this property and get primary residence stamp duty on that. Now, the primary residence stamp duty on that would have made the stamp duty, in this instance, £30,000. However, the older property in Manchester, she said to the council that that was still her primary residence for council tax benefits. So that's still logged, even though she's saying she sold it to her son's trust, that's still logged as her primary residence, and that's where all this confusion started to come about. Now, if this was her second home, which a lot of people say this is now her second home, she would have had to have paid stamp duty of £70,000. So there's a big difference, and there's a big benefit in saying that the property in Manchester isn't your primary residence, because you don't want to pay that much higher stamp duty. Now, she is one of the people that sets the rules. She's one of the people that would have been involved in the stamp duty increase that we had the other day. So it's not like somebody that's totally unaware of policy and stuff that's happening doing this. It's not like your grandmother that doesn't watch the news. This is someone that's actually setting these policies themselves. That's why it's a little hard to believe that she didn't really understand how this all works. So this now has got to a point where she has referred herself to the parliamentary watchdog. So she said, look, I've done wrong here. You need to investigate me and see what you think should happen. Ultimately, at the end of that, Keir Starmer will make a decision. And I think it's going to be quite hard for her to keep her job off the back of this. But what would the consequences be if you did this? Maybe you've watched this and thought, oh, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll change which is my primary residence when I buy a next property in order to save on stamp duty. Well, this is where this gets quite serious if you did this. The fines by HMRC, if you get caught for stuff like this, range from 20% to 30% of the unpaid tax. In this instance, the unpaid tax is £40,000. So it's a huge fine that she could potentially have here from the HMRC, around £10,000 plus, potentially, if she got that fine on the higher end. Who knows what will happen here? Maybe she'll get a slap on the wrist, but what is looking like is going to happen is she's going to voluntarily pay that £40,000 that she should have paid, the difference, because she got caught. And we'll never know, if she didn't get caught, whether this would have ever come out and she would have just paid that lower stamp duty level. But because she's got caught, she's paying that £40,000 extra, and hopefully she'll get a fine from HMRC on top of that, like everybody else would. You know, if you get a late penalty with HMRC, you don't really get an opportunity to appeal it and win. You never, ever get money back from the HMRC, very, very rarely. And so I think it should be the same for the politicians, especially the people that are setting the rules, that know the rules. And I think that's very, very important. So let me know, what do you think about this whole stamp duty farce? Do you think she did know? Do you think she didn't know? Was this a deliberate act? Was she feeling like she was bending the rules and she was within the law, which are some people saying as well? From my side, I think it's very frustrating when you see this kind of stuff. And that's why when you're buying property, whether it's a residential property or a house that you're going to live in yourself, you need to know the rules. Now, we've got a program which we're putting on flash sale at the moment. We're doing it for just £20. We've done this before, but it's back. It's called The Fundamentals of Property Investing. And right now is a great time to learn about property investing. We're going to teach you in that how to buy property below market value. We're also going to teach you how to refurbish those properties and add value to those properties. We'll also then teach you the best strategy. Normal buy-to-let, tough at the moment. It's hard to get a return on your investment with a buy-to-let property at this point in time, as you may well know. And so you need to look at other strategies like turning it into an HMO, serviced accommodation, adding value by the buy, refurbish, refinance, rent strategy, and much, much more. We talk about all of that. And this whole course is £20 one-time price. So in the description, I'm going to put the link. In the first comment, I'm going to put the link as well. Make sure you grab a copy of The Fundamentals of Property Investing while it's on flash sale. And also comment with what you think about Angela Rayner and this stamp duty avoidance. Do you think it was a mistake, or do you think it was something that she did more nefariously? I'd like to know. Do also check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.